What is up, nation? AJ Reilly here with Eric Vincent for Beyond the Box. You got? See, I didn't get the blue Kool-Aid today. I
How
should
could you
have.
not get it for this today, man?
I know, man. I should have, but I
I should have
didn't.
hit you up. I should have hit you up. I'll take the
Well,
L on that one.
I mean, it's okay. Like I'm here for it. We might have gone a little overboard the last time with the fun we were having, the buy-in, 3-game win streak, all that.
Maybe.
But we got a lot to talk about tonight on Beyond the Box. It is a Victory Monday, if you will, for the Detroit Lions. We've got a Big Ten championship to talk about, as well as we talked about with Tejas last week. I told you they would win by 3 scores. They won by 3 scores. It was just what was expected. So we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the college football playoff. And did the committee get it right? We also got a little news on Coach Prime, one of my all-time favorite football players. We're going to talk about him, get into our Week 14 picks, and then also a little Hoo-Rah and who cares to end the night. I do want to remind you, though, before we jump into anything, make sure that you are commenting, asking questions, telling us we're wrong, getting into verbal fights behind your keyboard, because we're okay with that. And we love the interaction. We would love to talk to you about what happened this weekend. And Eric, what happened this weekend was a beatdown from our Michigan football teams. Michigan laid the smackdown on Purdue Saturday night. And then Detroit, Detroit, Ford Field had it rocking right from the get-go. Second offensive play of the game, and Deshaun Elliott smacks Travis Etienne, causes that fumble, and the boys were off and running. Here is the question that we want everybody to respond to. How impressed are you with that win? The Lions are now 5-7. They won 40-14. They held Trevor Lawrence in check. They held Travis Etienne in check. Defense played well. Offense was lights out. How impressive is that win, Eric?
If I had to go out of 10, I'm giving it a 10.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can give it anything but a 10. And people might try to discredit it by saying, well, it's just the Jaguars. I think we had this conversation before.
I'm there.
We're just the Lions. And even if it's just the Jaguars, you treat bad teams the way they did on Sunday. 40-14, you never punted. You set the tone right out the gate, getting a turnover, scoring on every possession, creating extra short field opportunities for your offense, which is what we've been saying they need to be predicated on. Seeing the emergence of your young players again. James Houston looking like a star. Come on down, man. Welcome to the party.
And I got to give you credit, man. You made that call during Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And yes, he's been on the practice squad and he has not played. But my man has 17 NFL snaps, 3 sacks, which ties him for, I think, lead among rookies. Like second among rookies, because obviously Hutch has the lead among rookies. But what in the world, man? That was
like a steal.
That was a good call on your part. A very good call on your part. And I'll give you credit where credit is due.
I need a victory. I need a victory lap. I'll take that one. But he's looking for real, man. And you see the attention that we talked about this with Hutch, even though his individual play is adding up. Aleem McNeil playing his best ball right now. Houston popping off right now. Kaminsky still making plays. While Hutch is taking triple teams. Like, this is what we expected. And again, I talked about this on the news desk as well. When they play well in the D-line, you see how much more aggressive and productive the young corners are. Will Harris was down balls making plays. Jerry Jacobs, he's been really good outside of a couple penalties here and there. He's been really impressive. And Okuda's been Okuda all season. Kirby Joseph looks like a breakout player. Like, you're seeing what you wanted to see from this team on all phases. So it has to be a 10 out of 10.
And Maximilian, I think, hit the nail around the head, right? It showed that this team can be very dangerous next year. And here's what I think is most impressive. And this is where kind of I came down Sunday, like my big takeaway on Sunday. You now have a Detroit Lions team that is beating the teams that they're supposed to beat.
Yep.
Which was not always the case. And so, like, everybody was saying, oh, this is 2 teams that are very similar in their path and their trajectory, and they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. The Jags may have a few more names, but the Lions have a team. And that was incredible to see. Like, there was no doubt from snap one. It was like, we own this game.
Yep.
We own you, and we're going to win this game.
Yep.
And that's not something that you could say about the Detroit Lions for, a while.
Yep.
They showed that they could compete with the Bills. Should have won that game, but that's can't change the past. We're not gonna reevaluate the past.
Woosah.
But then there was kind of like, okay, who's going to win this game? It's kind of a toss-up, right? I think the spread was like 1 either way, right? That was the spread. And the Lions said, no, this isn't even close. This isn't even going to be close. This is the team that we have. And in reality, I think this told us a lot more about the type of team that this is than maybe keeping us wondering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Goff played well. I can say that.
I know it's hurting you. I see you.
It's like right in my stomach. It hurts so much. But he played well. I mean, a couple throws here or there, I would say that wasn't great, but he played well. The offensive line, phenomenal. Your boy, DJ Chark, making plays.
Oh my gosh.
That first of all, the fact that Goff hit him on a 41-yard bomb.
Crazy.
Which was on the money. I will give credit where credit is due. That ball was on the money. But Chark made that play with the dude's arm wrapped around him.
Which I'm shocked by because
it was a heck of a catch.
Yeah, he hasn't made a lot of contested catches like that.
He has not. This was a huge win, not just statistically, right? They're 5-7. They're a game and a half out of the playoff spot. We could talk about how the Giants and Commanders screwed us by tying. Well, we haven't even got into that, right?
No, we haven't. No,
we hold the tiebreaker over both of them, and now there won't be a tie because they both literally tied. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
But more so than just statistically, this win, this was a mental get over the hump win.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When you could have turned back after that brutal loss to the Bills. You could have packed it in, but they didn't pack it in. And they mentally flipped that switch and they said, okay, this is who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. Calvin Jr., the Lions had an impressive win. It's just indicative of how we should have been playing all season. There's definitely aspects to that as well. Finally, good clock control. Okay. Listen, when you're not punting, you're going to control the clock well.
Exactly. Again, you're seeing, to me, what you're seeing is finally an establishing of an identity. Even if they have to be in a position where Goff is throwing 30, 40 times, he wasn't just winging it 40 yards down the field. It was simple little plays to Amon-Ra to run in space. Finding Reynolds, for easy first downs. Like, he wasn't a gunslinger out there. They were playing methodical football throughout.
Still threw the ball, 45 times, I think it was?
Yeah, I didn't love that.
That's a lot of throws.
Yeah. And again, he was efficient. He did what he was supposed to do. We give him his credit. Not gonna sit here and this doesn't buy him. Was gonna buy him some time, unfortunately. I'm getting to the idea that we're gonna bring him back next year.
Yeah, he'll be back next year. Point. I don't think that there's any way, especially if. Well, let's get to Dwayne's comment here. Believe my team, my number one team, Detroit Lions, won pride. How we play against the Jags, we have a great chance to beat the Minnesota fight. Listen. Dwayne, that comment right there, how we played against the Jags means we have the chance to beat the Minnesota Vikings. How you played against the Jags means you could beat pretty much anyone in this league.
Yep.
That was a phenomenal display of football. But Eric, to your point, and what were you saying before we got to Dwayne's comment? Because that was a good thing.
No, we were talking about Goff throwing the ball 100 times and getting used to the fact that he'll be here next season.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, look, it's going to cost him $30 million. That's not necessarily the recipe for a Super Bowl. Not that the Super Bowl's in scope next year, but I mean, it's one more year of Goff at minimum is probably the case at this point. And I'm resigning myself to the fact that he will be our quarterback next year. Now, personally, I would probably save the $20 million and try to find the next Geno Smith if he's available. But I don't know if there is a quarterback that's available. And if Jared Goff goes out, listen, if this team goes out and goes, what would it have been? They were 1-6, right?
Yeah.
They were 1-6.
Start off 0-3, right? Or 1-3, yeah.
They started 1-3, then they ended up 1-6.
Yeah.
Then they ripped off the 3-game win streak. Then they lost to the Bills. Then they beat the Jags. So they're 5-7.
Yep.
If they were 1-6 and they go 8-2 to finish the season, like you're not gonna not bring Jared Goff back after.
You don't have a choice.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
And there's a very real possibility that they go 9-2 over this, 10-game or 8-2 over this 10-game stretch.
Yep.
Losing to the Bills, potentially losing this Sunday to the Vikings. But I mean, it's hard not to bring Jared Goff back after that.
Yep.
As much as I'm not thrilled with him, and as much as I'm like, I think there's somebody else that could get us over the hump and actually make us a Super Bowl contender. Jared Goff may get us to the playoffs. I don't think Jared Goff ever brings a championship.
No.
With the type of quarterback that he is, and I will stand firm on that.
No, they're sitting in the San Francisco type position, except the difference is you're not going to have to trade up for your quarterback. You'll have the draft fortunate position to be able to take a risk.
This is the year.
I'd say so, yeah. There's some names up and down the bar.
Yes, but like that's the interesting thing, right? Is I'm not wasting this crop of quarterbacks that's there this year. I'm not spending the third overall pick, and I'm not spending the 13th or 12th overall pick on them.
You don't like any of them, I know.
I really don't. What I would try to do is maybe find some way to get back up into the top 5, maybe top 3 in 2024 with draft capital to get a Caleb Williams. Like, I'm more impressed with Caleb Williams than anybody coming out this year, even though I'm still not 100% sold on Caleb Williams.
Right.
But I just don't know. And if you wait another year, then you're not starting a rookie in his rookie season. You can't. It's not good for him. Even Patrick Mahomes said.
Right.
So you're just kicking the can of Jared Goff down the road.
Well, okay, so a player that finally made his debut, J-Mo finally got on the field. Shout out Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
What if he looks like, let's say he looks like 80% of whatever your ceiling is for him. Everybody seems to have an incredibly high ceiling for this kid.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. So let's say he's 80% of that these next 6 games or however many they can have left. You're going to have, if he looks, like I said, 80% and as complimentary as we think he's going to be with Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that Bryce isn't a bad pick or isn't a legitimate pick to have at 3. I
think Bryce is the best of the group.
Right.
But do I think that Bryce is worth the number 3 overall pick? I just don't, man. I just don't. I like him. I don't really have any problem with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, especially if somebody like a Will Anderson is there at 3. And we say 3, but we might be picking number 1 overall and have our choice.
Could be. Right. What you want is one of the other teams to get number 1 and just take him, so it just takes it out of the equation right away. And just go defense right off the rim.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal, but I don't know. So what's interesting, Eric, and I don't know, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but you've heard of the curse of Bobby Lane.
Yep, I have.
Okay. You know that the Lions have been a, shall we say, cursed franchise for years. Haven't had a undefeated November since 1962. Have not won a championship in my dad's lifetime. One playoff win since 1957.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One postseason, let's call it that, postseason win since 1957. And only a handful of postseason appearances since then as well. They're a cursed franchise, or some believe them to be. And it all stems from them having traded Bobby Lane, one of the better players back in the 1950s, the mid-century mark. Well, a few weeks ago, my guy, Peyton Manning, apparently exercised this curse with Jeff Daniels. You read about this or saw this?
I did. I saw it.
Do you think there's something to this? Because since that time, The Lions are 4-1.
Let's just say we're seeing things that we have not seen in a long time or ever. Consistent football from the Detroit Lions.
I know.
Mistake-free football from the Detroit Lions.
I know.
Beating division rivals on a consistent and convincing basis.
I know.
I can't really say no. I can't say yes, but I can't say no either.
Listen, I'm generally not a superstitious person unless it is directly involving sports. Okay?
Yeah.
Unless it directly involves sports. Like when I played football, I laid my uniform out the same way before every game.
Me too.
Like the curse of the Bambino in baseball that cursed the Red Sox for 86 years. You know, the curse of the Billy Goat that cursed the Cubs for 108 years. Like I'm all in on that stuff and like legitimately breaking curses. I feel like there may have been a veil lifted by Peyton Manning, of all people. Just one more reason to add to his greatness. If he broke the curse for the Detroit Lions.
Listen.
Could you imagine them break that curse and them go 8-2 over their last 10 games?
Listen.
Could you imagine the stories that could be written?
As the biggest Tom Brady hater, I do everything I can to discredit him as the GOAT. If Peyton Manning can somehow wield success for the Lions, a team he doesn't even play for, he's the GOAT. I don't care. He's the GOAT.
Joe Montana aside,
take him out.
All those other guys aside. He broke the Lions' curse with having nothing to do with our franchise.
A team he doesn't even play for. It was supposed to be Stafford. Didn't him and Lane go to the same high school? Like they were. I think he was supposed to be the one who broke
that.
It.
I don't know. That I have no idea
I think
about.
They both went to the same school. In
look,
high school.
Maximilian says the curse is over if they beat the Vikings this weekend. I'm like, I know we made our picks. And I want to get this out because I know we made our picks. We both had them lose. No, you had them beating the Vikings. I had them losing to the Vikings.
Okay.
I think they're going to win this weekend.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt in my mind. Yeah. I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to actually win convincingly.
It doesn't seem fluky. Again, they're not just winning. Like, think about all the wins that they were getting. The Vikings had a lot of close finish, fluky games. The Lions against us. We were one of them. We're winning convincingly. Outside of maybe the Green Bay game, you could argue. Outside of that, every other game has been a convincing W.
Yeah, the Green Bay game and then the Bears game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but even then, that was kind of,
and then you go to the Giants, which was like our last two wins have been very convincing. And
yes,
I don't know, man. Like I'm like, maybe it's the Kool-Aid, which I'm not drinking tonight, but I should be because I see good. We said at the beginning of the show, way back when, before the season ever started, the results don't necessarily matter this season. But what matters is that we see the team improving week by week.
Yes.
They're doing that.
Yes.
100%. They struggle. Look, listen, before the bye week, they were very inconsistent.
Yep.
Struggled in New England. Struggled in Dallas a bit. Okay?
Yep.
But whatever switch was flipped.
Switch was flipped.
There we go.
You got it.
Yeah, switch was flipped. Whatever switch was flipped, since that Dallas game, this is a different ball club. And this is a better football club that keeps getting better every week.
Yep.
Health has something to do with that, no doubt. But it's exciting, man. I don't know. It's exciting.
Yep, because we've seen the potential being hit. Like you see Kirby Joseph, you see auxiliary pieces around Hutch playing well, the linebacking core getting better, the defense in general,
linebacking core huge,
they're getting better week by week. And now that you've seen that, that's why wins are expected at this point. On top of the draft fortune you're already getting from the Rams, you don't have to worry about tanking out and doing Brad Holmes no favors of draft position.
Exactly.
Just win.
And that's what we said a couple weeks ago, right? This is kind of do we want them to keep winning or do we want the draft pick? And this could not have worked out better for the Lions. With the Rams falling apart health-wise, let's be very clear. The Rams are still a very good team if they're healthy. They're not healthy.
No.
Matt Stafford's out. Cooper Kupp's out. Aaron Donald's out. Like, they're not healthy,
Mm-mm.
which works to our favor.
Exactly.
And because that works to our favor, now that draft pick that you own doesn't matter. You picked 2 and 32 last year.
Yep.
Why not pick 1, 2, or 3 and 25?
Between 10 and 25, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Because you're young guys who are the ones contributing the most to these wins. St. Brown, Hutch, Ragnow, Swift, Malcolm Rodriguez, Kirby Joseph, who I think is like the
steal.
I love this
Steal.
guy. Like, I don't know why, I just love him.
Yep.
All contributing to these wins significantly. I'm here for it, man.
And restoring faith that Brad Holmes can do whatever with whatever pick. You don't have to worry about trying to stand up for him. He's fighting 6th rounders, 5th rounders. They're paying out right now. This is what we needed.
All right. So they got They have 6 games left? Yeah, because
I believe so, yeah.
They're 5 and 7. No, they have 5 games left.
Yep, 5 and 7 right
They
now.
had 6 after the Jags. They got 5 left because they're 5 and 7. That's 12.
4, 5. Yeah, they got 5.
5 left. What do they get to? In those 5 games, just give me a record for those 5 games.
For those 5 games, you know what? I'm gonna change my mind because we talked about this, and I said they were gonna lose both division games at the end of the season.
I know. You have them at 8 and 9.
Oh God. Okay, I have no worries about the Jets and the Panthers. They're going 2-0 there.
Okay.
I think they're beating the Vikings.
Okay, so that's 3-0.
God. They're beating the Bears when they go home. There's no way they're losing to the Bears at home. They're not. I'll say they still lose to the Packers just because they're getting that Chicago game. Yes, 4-1.
So you have them at 9 and 8 then on the season.
Yep, the other side of 500.
Okay, so you flip that. I might as well. You know what?
500, yeah. That's right. Get it out.
Those don't matter anymore. Forget it. I had them at 7 and 10. There's no way. There's no way that they lose 3 of these next 5.
Not possible.
There's no way.
What you got?
Oh man, I don't want to do this.
Hey,
but
do it. Do it. Come on, man. Let's go.
I'm gonna be such an idiot, or look like such an idiot. If they beat the Vikings this weekend, which I already said I think they're gonna do.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to do this.
Come on, don't be scared, bro.
I don't want to do this.
You can do this. You can do it.
And, okay, let me make the caveat. Let me make the caveat. Hold on. If they beat the Vikings this weekend, which I said that they were going to do, and I've already said that they are beating teams that they are supposed to beat. They're not. It doesn't seem like they're the type of team that's now letting down or not winning the games they're supposed to win, like teams of the past have done.
Right.
If they can beat a team like the Vikings, who are tops in their division, oh man,
what? You're gonna do it. You're gonna feel so good when you say it. Come on.
Okay, they're gonna win out. They're gonna win out. They're gonna win out. Doggone it, they're gonna win out.
Yes, sir.
If they beat the Vikings, they're winning out. That's all there is to it. I've convinced myself. I can't believe I've done it. Which puts them. Oh my gosh!
That's
I can't
not a
believe
hot
I'm
take,
doing,
though.
That's
not a hot take. It's okay.
Which puts them at 10 and 7. You understand? I gotta make sure that I get this correct. But if the Lions win out and the Vikings were to lose out, the Lions could freaking win the division. I think it's crazy. What is happening? That we have to be living in some kind of alternate reality.
Especially considering how this season started. If you would have said to start off after the Patriots game, no, they're gonna finish maybe around 10 and 7. Okay, sure, okay.
No, you would have legitimately been like asked to be like checked for
facts,
like, some type of illness
immediately. No
I know.
question.
Listen. I'm going out on a limb. I'm probably drunk on Kool-Aid, but they're not going to lose to the Jets. They're not going to lose to the Panthers. They're not going to lose to the Bears.
Hill. No.
I'll tell you what, though. The Bears are the only team in those final 5 that scare me. They really are.
Because Justin Fields can run.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair.
Because Justin Fields can run.
Yep.
And I don't know. Anyway. Here we go. Well, I mean, it.
Hey, win out!
Can't wait
to see that on the reels.
Yes. I cannot believe that I just said that, but I'm going to. Hey, I want to remind everybody that's watching right now, we appreciate you viewing. Make sure that you're commenting, but also make sure that you're following Detroit Sports Nation on all of the social media platforms. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. All the handles are right there. You can also follow Beyond the Box on Twitter at Beyond the Box DSN. But on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that you pounded that bell to get notifications when we drop our reels and when we go live every Monday night at 7 o'clock, because we love to have you over there and we'd love to interact with you through the comments there. Now, there was another big win on a Saturday night. Michigan demolishing Purdue, as I told you they would do last week. And second consecutive Big Ten championship for your favorite coach in America. Second consecutive college football berth for your favorite coach in America. They come into the college football playoff ranked number 2, behind Georgia, ahead of TCU, and ahead of Ohio State, who backed in to the Final Four. Eric, did the committee get it right? And are these the 4 best teams in America for this college football playoff?
I don't even think I should have given that side. Yes, the committee got it right. I feel like there have been plenty of times throughout the playoff process. First of all, you having 4 playoff spots has always opened this conversation
for sure
to be a possibility. That's just going to happen. But I think from what's happened and what's transpired over the last couple weeks, I think they got it right. And I think they did it easily. I really don't think there's a discussion at this point. I'm okay with TCU being where they're at, losing their last game by 3 points. No shame in that.
Especially the way that they lost.
Exactly. There's no shame in that. Ohio State, yes, you can say they backed in, but the teams that could have got in ahead of them, you saw Nick Saban campaigning on TV like a goof. That was embarrassing. You don't have a case when you lose 2 games, and I don't care about what the point differential was. You lose. The only way that argument applies is if Ohio State was also a 2-loss team.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, you lost twice. You're not.
But then, okay, so if Ohio State were a 2-loss team, then UCLA, or not UCLA, but USC by default would have to be that 4th team, because then you're penalizing them for losing the extra game that nobody else played.
Possibly, yeah. I mean,
even though, yeah, I'd have to look. I think you.
No, I hear you, but yeah, I just don't think it applies for them. Like, I just don't think it applies for Alabama. I mean, they tried to pump it up, saying, "Oh, our team wasn't healthy. We didn't have any embarrassing losses like the other teams."
Yeah, you would have to,
bro. Like,
but if Ohio State had 2 losses, you would have to keep USC there, because they only have 2 losses as well, and their second loss came in an extra game that Ohio State and Alabama didn't have to play.
And I'd be fine with that at that point. But what he's trying to do is, like he said, "Oh, if it was a neutral field and you just had us lined up, will we be the favorites?" Like, bro, that's not how this goes. You look at your resume. We're not looking at your roster on a blank. Exactly. That's fine, but it's based on what they did throughout the season, not what they look like on paper. That's not how it goes, Nick, and you know that. You damn well know that.
No, like, I know he does. I know he does. But to play devil's advocate,
okay,
Ohio State's loss, their 1 loss, in my opinion, is actually worse than both of Bama's losses. Both of Bama's losses come on the road.
Okay.
Last second plays. And we're by what? Combined 2 points?
Okay.
Or combined 4 points, I think it was. To me, that's better for the resume, even though it is an extra loss. I'll grant you that.
Okay.
Than getting blown out at home by 3 touchdowns when you were favored by what? How much was Ohio State favored by? 10? 13?
A lot, yeah.
A lot.
Corum when he was out, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I think, I mean, to echo what Calvin's saying here, I think Alabama might be better than OSU.
That's fine. And let's
there should be a play-in game. There should be a play-in game,
with that.
like the NCAA tournament.
I'd be okay, like, yeah.
Let OSU and Alabama battle for the 4th spot.
I'd be okay with that. But here, let me meet you in the middle, because what you're talking about were the losses. And let's say I agree. Let's say that, yes, losing to your arch rival in the second half by getting blown out when you should have put the game away by how the game started. Let's agree with that. That's fine. That's the loss. That's 1 game. You're talking about 2 with Alabama. And again, that's the 3 games we judging. It's not based on just 3 games. It's the entire tenure of your resume and your schedule. Nick Saban trying to argue everything but that, making all these excuses. That's not going to fly. Yes, I agree with you on the loss, but it's not based on a piece of paper who's the better team. It's whose resume is more deserving to be here in the playoffs.
I see their resumes as almost equal, to be honest with you. I see them as like nearly equal because
no way.
We're gonna find out. I mean, we're gonna find out. Ohio State playing Georgia. We're gonna find out if they actually should be there or not.
That's fair,
right? I mean,
I don't think, but that's not.
I don't know.
But see, I don't like that being the barometer for the show that they deserve it. It's not based on how they performed it. It's based on what they did up until this point. And I don't think, yes, if you want to look and say, okay, CJ Stroud isn't better than Bryce Young, their defense isn't better than that. You're like, okay, but their resume says that they did better than what Bama did. You have to look at the resume. You have to look at their seasons. You have to look at the totality. And I don't really think it's an argument. Sorry, Nick.
Listen, I don't want Bama in there either. I just think that they have a little bit of a case.
So would you have voted for them and put them in 4?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. Because here's the thing, like there's no clear-cut 4th best team. Like, do I think TCU is actually one of the 4 best teams in America? I really don't.
Okay.
They're good. But are they better than Ohio State? I don't know. Are they better than Alabama? I know that's not true. And so I don't know. Like, this was not an easy year to pick a 4th team. And had chalk held and USC actually won the Pac-12, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Fair.
But that didn't happen. So now Ohio State's in. I've got no problem. Maybe I have a little bit of a problem with Ohio State being in just because it's Ohio State and they seem to like weasel. Like they're the team with 9 lives all the time. But I don't know, man. I look, they have 1 loss. Okay, that's 1 less loss than Alabama has. Okay, great. Put them in. Let's see where the chips fall. And it's okay. Because I think this sets up perfectly for Michigan, which leads to our second question, right? Can Michigan win it all? The number 1 team in the country, Georgia, who's really good, is going to have their hands full with a team with a chip on its shoulder against Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they got to get through Ohio State, who's arguably the 3rd best team in the country, arguably.
Oh, but I mean, if they're as bad as everyone's talking about to be, then hey, it should be a wipeout, right?
Well, I said arguably.
Okay.
I qualified it.
That's fair.
So they're going to have their semifinal matchup against the 3rd best team in the country, potentially.
Right. Okay.
And then, if all holds true, then have to face Michigan. I think this really kind of sets up really good for Michigan. You got to get past TCU. You can't overlook TCU. I'm not trying to overlook TCU. Yep. But you're a 9.5 point favorite right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Calvin brings up a little bit of a good point here. Michigan didn't get this treatment in 2016 with the college football playoff.
Hey, talk to the committee, man.
I know. The committee's
tell you.
They're so
dumb. They've been terrible. Like this is what they do. This is what they set up.
Like I never thought I would pine for the BCS to be back, but I'm almost like,
yeah, this is where you miss it.
Kind of, because like at the end of the day, it would just be Georgia and Michigan playing for the national championship.
I'm gonna answer your question, and you might be surprised.
Okay.
I learned that JJ McCarthy is better than I thought.
See, thank you. I've been telling you.
You'll
start to listen to me on quarterbacks now, hopefully.
We'll talk about one of your other quarterbacks later.
Not Baker. Okay. Not Baker. I'm not gonna. He'd be a cheaper option than Goff next year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, here you go. See, I'm going on. I'm moving on. JJ played a fantastic game.
He did.
With his legs, but I was more impressed with his arm. He was wheeling dramatic. Again,
Except
he
for
got
the
his help.
interception. I was
Except
so
with
mad about that
that pick was
interception.
bad. Him
I was
rolling
like,
out trying to
JJ,
be cute.
what are
Yeah,
you doing,
that
man?
was that was a
But anyway.
Mahomes type trying to throw. Yeah, that
Go
wasn't
ahead.
good.
I will let you
But
continue.
no, cool. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, he was to me he was the best player of the field. Like you got complimentary help with his run game, which is what they've had all season. I've waited to see if there was a necessity for him to convincingly get a victory. Illinois, you could argue, really wasn't that, even though they got a win. This was totally different. I don't care that it's Purdue because they gave them all they could handle for as long as they could.
They did.
Again, like, the defense has not shown up at this point at all at any point. So they have a chance. I don't think this is going to be like some just go away game for Georgia. I think they're going to make them earn it. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan comes out holding the natty. I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh man, I will be if they win a national championship. I don't even know how to explain how that Monday night is going to go. In fact, we should probably actually do like a watch party for that.
Yeah, we can do that.
We should do Beyond the Box live while we're watching the game. I think that would be great.
I'm with that. Okay.
Maybe we can get in the DSN studio with Jeff and
hit the cave. Okay.
Maybe
we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We will talk about it. My goodness. I think they have a chance. I definitely think that they have a chance. I think that they are a better team could potentially be playing Georgia than the team that played them last year. So yeah, I'm gonna say natty or bust.
It's come to that.
I mean, I'm a fan. Of course, I'm gonna say natty or bust. But yeah, I mean,
winning the natty or getting to the natty or bust. Which one? Because I think you can afford to get there and lose.
Yeah.
So where would you put it at?
I'm not gonna say like if they don't win, this season's a failure. Like I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
I will say though, if they lose to TCU, this season will be unfulfilled.
I'm with you on that.
Yep. Like I've got back-to-back Big Ten championships. Awesome, great. Like I love winning championships, but you got to improve. And you lost in the semifinal last year, so let's win in the semifinal this year.
Facts. I'm with you.
And I think that the X factor is JJ McCarthy, like you were saying. I don't think TCU will be able to stop him, especially from what I saw on Saturday of them playing Kansas State, because they can be exposed. Now, Max Duggan's a good quarterback, and he's a scrappy kid, and he's going to keep TCU in that game. But I think Michigan's going to be too much. When did you know the Big Ten championship game was over? Saturday night.
Oh, when I knew it was over. Let me see. It might have been early, like because his rhythm was very impressive, like from the gate. Like I didn't know what the margin was going to be.
By Loveland in the first quarter, that was beautiful.
That was a beautiful catch. But I felt like I knew it
making that play.
Yeah, that was because again he's leading a lot of his receivers, but yeah, getting him involved was lit. So I think I knew early just doing the rhythm to see what he was in. I knew the running game was going to wake up at some point. Defense was going to do what they do. They kept him clean like they have all season long.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really expecting anything different. So, yeah, I was.
You know when I knew that game was over?
What's that?
The first play of the third quarter.
Okay.
When Donovan Edwards ripped off that 60-yard run, I was like,
yeah,
okay, we've won. Like, game is over at this point. Because he didn't have much running room up until that point. He had a few yards. But, like, when he hit that, first of all, when he made that man miss, that move, that dude was on skate.
Brought him inside out and then went back outside.
Goodness.
Oh, that was nice.
But when that play happened, I was like, okay, the game's over. I know that the game is over at this point. Like, I'm not even going to worry about the outcome because we're about to score. Then we're going to score again because they now cannot stop a running game. And so it's beautiful. I love it. I hope Michigan go blue. You know, we got 3 weeks to anticipate this matchup with TCU. Thankfully, they play at 4 o'clock on the 31st, which is fantastic. But that's why the 12-team playoff is going to, I think, work out quite well because you're going to have football all through December that matters. Not the,
This is dreadful. This gap right here is just. I
Well,
get why. I
all
get
the
it.
6-6 bowl games. Like, yeah,
Right.
no thanks.
Yeah. I don't
You
care, but
want to
yes.
call it bowl season, that's fine, but nah.
No, it's not. No, this
I
is
won't be watching them. I know
no,
for a fact I will not be watching any game until December 31st,
no. This is the
except for the
bathroom break
Lions, of
section.
course.
This,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure, for sure. Eric, talk to our guys about Gear Up Detroit.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is holiday season officially underway. Thanksgiving wrapped up, and time to get ready for the spirit of giving. Do so right here online with GearUpDetroit.shop. You can get 25% off your first purchase with the coupon code below, BTB25 off. I know I've been slandering Jared Goff, saying he might not be a hot top, but hey, he's been playing well. You might want to go get you a t-shirt of his right here, as you see on the screen, number 16. Getting clean with Jared Goff and Gear Up Detroit .shop. That's right. He's earning some trust now. He's earning some belief here.
Yeah, get the shirts. They come quick. They're nice and soft and comfortable. I mean, use BTB 25% off to get your discount. Now, let's move to the next topic before we get into our picks. But prime time, Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Coach at Jackson State, has done very well at Jackson State, is now moving to Division I and Colorado. What are our thoughts? What are your thoughts? Any issues with him leaving an HBCU to go to a Division I program? For all the talk and all the, I know you shouted him out like 2-3 weeks ago on Beyond the Box.
Yeah.
He up and leaves you. So, what's up, man?
Yeah, I hit you on the Jackson State bandwagon, but no, initially I did. Initially, I was a little upset. Just because I loved the momentum that he was building with that school, how much national attention they were getting, being able to recruit a number one player like Travis Hunter, putting his son on the map, Deion Sanders, looking like a phenomenal football player who can succeed anywhere. And initially I was a little upset about it, but knowing Deion, knowing the impact he's left on Jackson State, did 3 years there, 2 conference titles, went undefeated last season, and again is putting a bigger microscope on not just Jackson State but HBCUs in general, which is an area that's always needed extra and more attention considering where they are. So I was initially upset, but knowing the impact that he could still make, because Prime is a different level of an icon. He is not just outside of athlete, but his personality, his charisma, and his ability to basically succeed with whatever he does.
Yeah.
We don't know any failures that we see from Prime Time. And he, to me, is something that Colorado's going to need. We know there's been a struggling program, and
losing seasons 15 out of the last 17 years.
Yeah, like, they need something new. They need a shot, in the arm. So I think it's a good challenge for him. And I think, like he said on his presser, people think I'm just avoiding my people just because I'm going somewhere else. Like, I'm always going to be black. Like, that's never going to change about me. And we all can't sit here and say that we wouldn't take a different opportunity. And on top of that, there's always been the issue of black coaches not getting opportunities in these kind of situations. So we can't be upset when Deion does good somewhere and then gets a promotion and a better opportunity and then be upset about that. So my initial gut reaction was like, God, I wish it would have stayed a little bit longer, but
Sure.
Stepping back now, realizing what he's done, I can't be mad at it at all. Shout out Coach Prime.
How do you feel about him saying, I'm bringing my luggage with me, and it's Louis, referencing players that are coming with him from Jackson State to Colorado? Because, like, I can imagine that may not go over very well with the players that are already there, but at the same time, he kind of comes in and, I've watched the pressers and I've seen the clips online and all that, and this is how things are going to be, and you either get on board or you get out of the way. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I get it. I can see how it could maybe rub somebody wrong in the locker room. Like, I've been here, it's supposed to be the spirit of competition. But to me, Prime seems like a straight shooter. So His expectation is coming in with his son saying, okay, this is going to be the quarterback. We don't know if Travis Hunter is going to be a part of the acquisition. Like, haven't heard anything from him yet. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out.
That's going to be very interesting.
That's going to
what
be
happens there.
Absolutely. But for one, I wasn't surprised that he came out like that. That's prime. And if someone's not performing, like let's say his son is, not playing, I don't think he'd have a problem making a change. I think prime, commands enough respect and understanding in the locker room that he can make those kind of calls. But I think he's enough of a straight shooter and a genius enough football mind to be aware if things are not going as he expected. Okay, this Louis V luggage ain't working out like I thought. Let's get somebody else in there, put a different bag in there. And that's okay.
No,
that's okay.
I have enjoyed listening to his press conferences. I almost want to see him be very, very, very successful. Like I'm when I'm not rooting for Michigan next year, I'll probably be rooting for Colorado. Just because I like prime. Like listen, for Christmas when I was like 9 years old, I asked Santa. Maybe it was younger than 9 because 9 seems old to still believe in Santa. But I asked for a Deion Sanders Dallas Cowboys jersey. Now I dislike the Cowboys, and I would never do that now.
Right at that point.
But I've liked Deion Sanders for a long time, and I'm glad to see him succeeding, and I'm excited to see him succeed even more in Boulder, Colorado.
It's a good opportunity for him.
Good luck, Coach Prime.
Yes.
You got the supporter Beyond the Box, even though you have no idea who we are. We got your back, man. We got
you. We
back.
here.
Eric,
all the way from Metro Detroit.
Week 14 picks for the NFL, okay? Last week was 3-2 for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an kind of week. Mm-hmm. And so we are currently sitting tied in the season standings. Both of us have won 38 games. Both of us have lost 23 games. So we're over 500 by 15 games, which I would say is pretty successful. That's 3 full weeks of picks. But what I did this week in selecting the games, we are picking games that directly impact the Lions and their playoff chances. I don't know if you picked up on that or not.
I like that. Yep, I peeped.
Well, we are directly picking games that affect the Lions. So now you can take this one of two ways. You can either be completely unbiased and pick what you actually think is going to happen, or you can pick what you hope would happen that would help the Lions. You see what I'm saying? So I've left you in a little bit of a conundrum, which I'm okay with. We've been
going bold all day. It's okay. Let's keep it rolling.
We've been doing it all day. So let's start Thursday night. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to Los Angeles to play the Matthew Staffords,
who may or may not be there at this rate.
He won't. Yeah, he's on IR. He's done for the season.
He's okay. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, easy.
And there was a doctor that came out today. You can see the story on Detroit Sports Nation, but there's a doctor that came out today and said that his injury may be career threatening. Actually, he may be done. So
that's tough.
Not official or anything like that, but there's an article at DetroitSportsNation.com. You can see it there. Who do you got? The Raiders or the Rams?
Crossed. Yeah, hearing that, and then knowing Aaron Donald hasn't been playing either. Cup's not playing. Easy call. Give me the Raiders.
Yep. That's
and the agenda, of course.
Very easy.
Yes.
And that also helps. That's unbiased, but also helps the cause here. All right, let's go to the other games that matter. Carolina at Seattle. That's a tough one. What do you want to happen, or what is going to happen?
I don't know. This is so close. I mean, Carolina, they don't have that weight anymore on their roster. I mean, they might be revitalized and rejuvenated. No more Baker in their roster. Give me Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. It's really. I'd love to see an upset. It's just not gonna happen.
No.
So here we go. Next game. The NFC leading Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Can the Eagles have a letdown game? That would not work to the agenda.
No.
But
and I think the Lions have finally exposed the Giants for who they are. That record was so fraudulent, and the Lions were able to expose that. Give me the Eagles in a big one. I don't care that's on the road.
What's my number one rule when it comes to the Eagles this season, Eric?
Can't pick against them.
Can't pick against them until they give me a reason not to. So I've got to stick with that, right? We're going with Philadelphia.
I'm with you.
This one's going to be a little bit more difficult to pick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe it's not going to be so much difficult to pick because the 49ers are now without Jimmy G.
Yep.
Who broke his foot on Sunday.
Yeah. And I'm still surprised by Tampa Bay. I'm going to pick them, but I am stunned by how horrible they've looked. I don't know what's going on with that team in a horrid division. This should not be happening for them, but it is what it is. I'll take Tampa Bay in this one, though.
It goes against the agenda, but I'm taking the 49ers.
Oh, man.
I'm going to take the 49ers. It's probably going to
against the agenda.
It's going to kill me in the season standings, but I just think that maybe they can find some magic. They still got a pretty good defense, and if McCaffrey or Debo can get loose, that works well. So let's get to our game, Minnesota at Detroit, man. I feel like we've already called this one.
And again, I don't think this is a hot take. The Lions, they're hotter, I believe. I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the Lions.
Too. I told you. I got to. I can't go back on my word now. I can't go back on my word.
Comfortably, so we have, too.
Yeah, I said by 10 points.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, I'm like the worst hot take person in the world just because I just say whatever to get a reaction. But hey, you know what? Sometimes it works out in my favor. Other times it does not work out in my favor, and that's okay. It's okay. But the Lions will win by 10 or more points this week.
I see it. Yes, let's get it.
For sure. So, Eric, we're going to end the night with one of our favorite segments called Hoo-Rah and Who Cares. It's a segment where we pump up a story from around the sports world that we want to shout out and say, hey, hoorah to you. And then another story that we're just kind of sick of talking about. Who cares? We're just done. So, Eric, I'm going to toss the ball to you. What do you got for us in Hoo-Rah and Who Cares this week?
My Hoo-Rah is this is the first repeat offender, actually. And they were a Who Cares.
Not the first one.
It's not?
No, remember I brought Russ up twice?
Oh, no. Okay, sorry. That's yours. This is my first repeat offender.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so they were a Who Cares, though, when I did them earlier this season. My Hoo-Rah is the dissension of the New England Patriot offense. Oh, to see Mac Jones screaming at Matt Patricia in the sideline in the Bills game as they get rolled by 14, talking about, let's throw the ball, run game, bleep, cussing up a sideline like a little kid, seeing them struggle, especially seeing and knowing all the success they had against the Lions that was so fraudulent, that was such a fluke, such a glitch in the Matrix. Now seeing them come back to life and look like the frauds they are, warms my heart. So hoorah to that.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my favorite football game that happens every year. I know I'm a huge Michigan fan, and I love the game. I live for the game, right? I love it. But there's one game on the schedule that gets played when no other football is playing, and that is Army versus Navy. And it is my favorite football game all season long. Is it good football? Not always. But it's important, and I love this game. And one of the reasons why I love this game is the fact that they generally use specific uniforms for that game. So a few years ago, on the side of the helmets for Navy, they had the actual aircraft carrier or boat that they would serve on when their time at the institution was up.
Okay.
Awesome jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Last year, the United States Army had jerseys that represented the special forces for the Army. So they're all designed differently. And so I actually got via Twitter the uniforms for this season. Okay. So these are the Navy uniforms that are inspired by all of the cadets and Naval Academy graduates that went on to be astronauts.
That's tough.
You see the red, white, and blue.
I love it.
You can't really see it very well here, but on the helmet is an actual picture of an astronaut.
Okay.
And then it says NASA. The other side of the helmet says NASA as well.
Okay.
And these are nice.
The visor. Yeah.
They're good.
I like it.
But they're also from Navy.
Okay.
Where my boys, the Army Black Knights, are going to be dressed in these.
Hey, wow.
Now they represent
That's
Old
fire. That's
Ironside in
fire.
America's Tank Division. Okay,
Yeah,
and they are fire.
I like those.
I
I like the dark
love
green in there. Ooh, that's not
I
bad.
love these uniforms. They may be one of my favorite uniforms in football. They're
like
so good.
As a dope version. It's like a more like intense version of Baylor's uniforms with the darker look and everything.
They're
That's tight. I like the
they're a
jersey
better
line.
version.
They
of
might
Baylor's.
be.
They're a
might
better
be.
version of Baylor's
Okay.
uniform. So my Hoo-Rah is for this game. I want to draw attention to it. It's December 10th. It's usually played on CBS in Philadelphia, where Constitution, all that was kind of signed. So I'm pumping it up, but I'm also pumping up these fire uniforms.
Are you gonna get a jersey?
So I'm not a jersey guy,
That
but
makes sense.
I will show you at some point the
sense.
link of the hoodies that they make based off of these jerseys.
Okay.
And they're incredible. But I'm going to end my Hoo-Rah session by saying, go Army, beat Navy.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
Who you got for Who Cares?
Oh man, I've been so happy all episode. Now I gotta get sad. My Who Cares goes to my fantasy football existence. This is the most dreadful year.
Should I bring up
ever.
the standings?
This is go ahead. I'm gonna rate it off. I'm 4-8 in our league. I'm 5-7 in my other league. We got one more league to go. I've been crippled with injuries from Javonte Williams, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, Lamar Jackson just got hurt.
I know.
I can't get then Jimmy G on my other league. He just got hurt. Him and Stafford. I can't get a break, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
Where's here? Let me get a white flag. I got you, bro. I'm done. I'm done. I'm so fed up right now.
Well, our league is the only league that I care about at this point because it's the only league that I'm actually succeeding in. I've locked up the second. I should have locked up the second position, even if I do lose tonight, because the guy I'm playing has Kamara and Brady, and I'm only projected to win by like 4 points right now. So I'm actually expecting to lose, but I should still wrap it up based on total points, which means I'll have a bye next week, which is fantastic because Justin Fields will be on bye next week too. So that actually works out pretty well for me. Man, that I'm sorry.
Must be nice.
I know.
Must be nice. Man.
I know. We compared our teams earlier in the season, and I told you that mine was going to be better, but you didn't want to listen to me.
Yeah,
but I feel your pain in the other leagues though. Like Javonte Williams, lost him. Lamar Jackson, lost him. Like I get it, man. And I had Khalil Herbert, who went on the IL or IR. I also had Dallas Goedert, who went on the IR. Like
Jerry Jeudy, we might as well be on the IR. Literally questionable every week. Can I stay on the field? Just
I know.
Put everybody in a bubble wrap. This is just disgusting. Ugh.
So my Who Cares, and I'm struggling with this, to be honest with you, because I don't know. But here's what I'm going to say. Because the Lions play them in a few weeks. Can Aaron Rodgers just go away?
Please.
I'm kind of just done and Who Cares with anything that has to do with Aaron Rodgers. That's my Who Cares.
I like that.
My Who Cares is Aaron Rodgers. I don't care. Yeah, your team sucks. Congratulations. It's your fault, actually, because of your contract and because they have clearly wanted you out, but you won't go away.
Nope.
So my Who Cares is Aaron Rodgers. I'm just done with Aaron Rodgers.
We keep getting these little peeks at Jordan Love too. This was probably easily his best game he's played, and I want to see him at this point. I'm over Aaron Rodgers for sure. All Lions fans are, but
Maximilian and I are going to be at blows on Saturday because he's saying go Navy beat Army, and I tell you, Max, if you served in the Navy, I do want to thank you for your service for sure. But we are going to be at odds on Saturday because
you want to square up in the parking lot.
I'm an Army. No, he'd beat me up. I've never been in a fight in my life, so I'm not gonna go there. But
love the self-awareness.
Hey, listen, I ain't never gonna back down. I've never been in a fight in my life. Why would I fight a grown man now? You know what I'm saying? I'm not an idiot. I might look like an idiot, but I promise you, I am a little bit smarter than I look.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No problem. But Maximilian, I'll be watching that game. Hopefully you will be too. Get at us at Beyond the Box, at Beyond the Box DSN on Twitter, and we can chat during the the Army-Navy game next on Saturday because I'll be watching it and I'm excited. Eric, we have a lot of stuff to talk about next week. I'm sure we will be back here on Monday night at 7 o'clock for Beyond the Box. Man, I hope that you have a great week.
You too, man.
I hope that everything goes smooth. I hope the Lions come out and beat the Vikings by 10 points so that I can start drinking some Kool-Aid with you on air again and wearing my grit hat. We love grit in Detroit. But anyways, we will see you next week. We appreciate all you guys being here. And until then, as always, go Lions.